Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's video. Little Lily and I just pulled up to her 15-month appointment. We still have about 15 minutes before we can head in, so she's in the front with me having a little snack that I packed for her. We have not been to the pediatrician for a wellness check since her 12-month appointment, and so it's been 3 months, and in those 3 months a lot has happened. However, at the same time, not too much has happened. If you guys are familiar, Lily does get physical therapy through early intervention, and we are 1 month into the 6-month treatment plan that we've been approved for. And although we have seen some small improvements over this past month of things that we've been working on, we still have quite the road ahead of us to meet our goals for her movement, which include crawling. It was kind of sad this morning filling out the e-check-in for her wellness check, and some of the questions were, is she running, is she kicking a ball, is she climbing the stairs? And clearly she is doing none of that because she still is immobile for the most part. She has kind of figured out how to scooch, which is something that the physical therapist did not want her to figure out, because we do want to get her using like more functional movements. I'm trying to give her some granola bar. More functional movements of like hands and knees crawling. So we're still working on that, but I am still excited to go into today's appointment and get some updates on Lily. She's always been a big baby in the high 90 percentiles as for like height and weight. I think last time we were here she was maybe about 26 pounds, and that was when she had an ear infection maybe a month ago. So she's probably still around like the 26-pound mark, but I'm interested to see how long she is. And then I do like to compare that with the boys at this point in time. So once we're done with the appointment and I give you guys a full rundown, I will go back and see if I can check and see what the boys were at this age, just to compare them. I feel like all my babies are super comparable in terms of like their growth, even their looks. Whenever we go into the pediatrician, the nurses are like, your genes seriously said copy and paste between the twins and Lily. So that is what we have going on today. Once we're done with all of this, I will give you guys a full little update and rundown on her. We actually have another evaluation next week. She's getting evaluated for speech and feeding therapy. I think it's like a full oral evaluation, and her feeding patterns have gotten a lot better over the last few months. She does self-feed much better than she used to. She still has quite a few aversions to textures and tastes, and I do think she has a lip tie. I did take her at like 2 months old maybe to a pediatric dentist, the one that the boys go to, and had them check then. But ever since her front teeth coming in, her, what is this called? Her frenulum is so tight in between her 2 front teeth that I do think she has an oral, a lip tie, not a tongue tie. She does have a pediatric dentist appointment in October, so I'll have them check it again then, but maybe the feeding therapist can check it herself if they're versed in that kind of thing. We're going to just evaluate her to see if she qualifies for these benefits. They're free through the state, and I told Harris if she qualifies, we're going to take it. We're going to get her all the help that we can get her. So it would be for like feeding therapy. She does like hold her own bottle now. She takes her milk out of a exclusive straw sippy cup, so it will be more of like the texture and taste aversions and helping her self-feed and use utensils. She doesn't have coordination for that, and then maybe even some speech components, which also can tie into her reoccurring ear infection. She's actually been doing good, knock on wood. She hasn't had one in well over a month, but she does need 3 vaccines today, and whenever she gets down under the weather, it seems like she develops an ear infection. So we will see, but that little evaluation is next week, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I'm going to have little Lily finish up this granola bar and get something in her belly, since after this she might doze off in the car. We'll kind of see. We are still working on the 1 nap transition, so I feel like a lot has gone on for me to give you an update once we are done here. But at the same time, I wish I had more updates in terms of like her crawling and her walking. So I'm going to get her fed, and then we are going to head in. What are you doing? Are you ready to go see the doctor? Yeah. Yeah, you sitting like a big girl. cricket. Ready? Okay, it's a few days later now, and I'm finally sitting down to give you guys like the actual update on Lily and what her pediatrician said, and just some more information about how she's doing at 15 months old now. And I did just go back and watch the boys 15-month update, and I did have a full 15-month update filmed for them, but I only quickly skimmed through just to find some information that would be comparable to Lily. So I'll give you guys that as we go through with this. But her appointment on, what day did we go? Last week now at this point. It's now Monday. I think we went last Thursday. It was a pretty quick general appointment. Sometimes there's really not a whole lot for them to like go through with you, and because we have Lily in physical therapy, she's being seen and treated for all of her developmental delays that the pediatrician doesn't really need to go over too much with me. So it was pretty quick. She only wound up getting one vaccine, which was a booster for previous shots that she got, and she didn't really have too much of a reaction to that. She was a little cranky that day, and then I think the following day her arm was sore. I forgot that once they hit 1 year old, they switch from giving them the shots in their legs to their arms, because typically babies will be crawling and or walking at this stage, and they just like don't want their little legs to hurt. However, even though Lily's not crawling or walking, they still put it in her arm, and I think her arm was sore for like a day. But other than that, it was perfectly fine. I don't know why I thought she had to get more, but I think all of the ones she needed was contained in like one shot. And then there was one other one, her hepatitis A, that I got like a message about on her little chart online. However, they said we can just wait until 18 months for that. So that's what we're doing. So she wound up just getting one shot. So jumping into the normal things that I usually talk about like growth and development, like their personality, eating habits, sleeping habits, and things like that. We're going to start with growth, and this is what I went back and checked with the boys. The babies, all three of them, have always been somewhat comparable in their size, even though the boys were born a month premature. However, this time, checking back at the boys' 15-month updates, they were in the 25-pound range. I think I remember saying one of the kids was 25 pounds and 4 ounces, and the other one was like 25 pounds and 12 ounces. Little Lily is at 26 pounds and 12 ounces, so she's almost 27 pounds, which typically wouldn't be such a big deal, but because she's not on the move, I have to carry around a 27-pound baby all day long, and it does get to be a lot for my back. And I think if I remember correctly, she was 32.5 inches long, which was about what the boys were. I think they were in the 31 to 32 inch range. So all my kids, even though Lily was born big and the boys were born tiny, have kind of grown consistently with time. And so that is what her size is. I think at this point, the boys always sized down a little bit in their clothes. They were probably strictly in 12 to 18-month clothing. I think girl clothes are just cut different, and I find that a lot of the times girl clothes get smaller on Lily quicker. So she is in some 12 to 18-month clothes, but we're not trying to buy her anything less than 18 months now. And so she can wear 12 to 18, she can wear 18 to 24, and we do even have some 2T things that she fits in. So she is a big girl, which we've always said she was born big. But with that being said, her size is pretty comparable to the boys at this point. As for her sleeping habits, if you guys have been following with all of my vlogs, we have started the transition to one nap for her, and we're pretty much done with that transition. It was a little rocky in the first 2 weeks that we've been doing it. We're now, I think, at like the 3.5 week mark. I think this coming Thursday marks 1 month since we've been trying this nap transition, and I think she's finally transitioned. In the beginning, we had some days where she was either waking up in the middle of the night or waking up super early in the morning, which does happen with nap transitions. And then there were some days that I couldn't get her to last until the nap time, and then because I was putting her to bed earlier, she was waking up earlier, and then she'd be tired sooner before bedtime. And so it was a lot of adjusting and playing around with it. But now she consistently does a 5 to 6 hour wake window in the morning and a 4 to 5 hour wake window in the afternoon. She typically wakes up anywhere between 6 and like 6:45. She'll go down consistently around 11:45 in her bed. She won't fall asleep some days until 12 or a little bit after, just depending. And then she wakes up anywhere between like 1:30 and honestly 2:30. If she's going to take a full 3-hour nap, which she does do some days, it'll be from like 11:45, 12ish to like 2:30, 2:45. I do get some days where she does do that, and that's great, but most days it's probably around 2 hours. And then for bedtime, depending on what time she wakes up from the nap, if she wakes up at like that 1:30 mark sometimes, she does go to bed as early as 6:30, and then sometimes it does take her a little bit to fall asleep. She's usually asleep by 7:15, and then up the next day around 6 to 6:30. I was getting pretty discouraged because in the beginning she was waking up early, like 5:30 early. That has kind of seemed to go away. There are days where she wakes up as early as 6, but I always leave her in her room until like 6:45. She's always happy and content in there when she wakes up. So even if she does wake up early, she's kind of just chilling in her bed until 6:45. So that's pretty much her little daily schedule for now. Side note, I'm at the point where I really want to chop all my hair off again. If you guys remember back in like 2022, my hair was all the way up to like here, like above the shoulder, and I've been having that itch to do that lately. No matter what I do to my hair, I'm just not loving it, and so I'm getting the itch to chop it all off. I asked you guys over on Instagram if I should, and a lot of you guys did say yes. Some of you did say no, but a lot of you did say yes. So don't be surprised if I come on your little feed in the next few weeks and my hair is cut completely short again. But moving on to eating habits, Lily does take 3 bottles a day. We did successfully transition her to a straw sippy cup, so she no longer takes a bottle or like a transitional sippy nipple. She takes a straw sippy cup for her milk. 3 bottles a day, 8 ounces in the morning, around 4 ounces in the afternoon, which it's really variable when she gets that. I kind of give it to her depending on when she wakes up from her nap, just because she usually sleeps for a long amount of time and she's so hungry when she wakes up. I'll typically give her her milk and a snack, and then before bed she gets like 6-ish ounces. I was trying to keep her around like the 20-ounce mark. However, at her 15-month appointment, the pediatrician said to maybe cut her ounces down even more and see if that encourages her more to eat. She's definitely been eating a lot better and a lot more, and like I mentioned, she does have her feeding therapy evaluation coming up this Thursday, so I'll give you guys an update in an upcoming video. But she usually takes around 20 ounces of whole milk a day. I'm trying to cut it down to maybe 16 to 18 to slowly start weaning her. I can't remember at what point I stopped the middle of the day bottle with the boys. I feel like all I do is touch my hair because I just don't like how it lays. I forget when I stopped the middle of the day bottle with the boys. I think it might have been around like 16-ish months. I think by 18 months they were just taking morning and night bottles. So I can't remember exactly, but I am slowly in the process of trying to wean down that middle of the day one. So typically, like I said, it's 4 ounces, which really isn't a lot. She will drink it all. She loves the milk, but I am starting to slowly cut that down. And then she has been taking like a small snack style breakfast in the morning still. Loves her lunch, gets a big snack after nap time, and then dinner is like her best meal. I do still give her pouches after she eats her solids for dinner, just because it's a way for me to get fruits and vegetables in her, because she really doesn't eat whole fruits and vegetables, but she loves yogurt and applesauce and blueberries and bananas, so that's where she gets some of like her vegetables and fruits from, but a lot of it comes from the pouches that she gets with her dinner. So even though we had a hard start to her eating solids and real food, she is doing better. She is eating more. She just has very different eating habits than the boys. At this point, even as early as 8 or 9 months, the boys were eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, full meals, big meals. Anything I made them, they basically ate. A lot of the times they would eat what Harris and I ate for dinner. Lily just is a very different eater than the boys, and so she has her favorites, and I feed her her favorites and her safe food, and she eats them and she likes them. She loves chicken. She'll eat chicken nuggets of any kind. The Purdue popcorn chickens are her favorite, but she'll eat McDonald's chicken nuggets, she'll eat Dino nuggets, she'll eat chicken strips when we go out to eat places. she's a chicken girl, and I don't remember the boys really liking chicken, so that's something that's different. But she's just a different baby, and her eating habits are just so different than the boys, but I've come to accept them. And like I said, I feed her safe foods, and the pediatrician wasn't worried at all. I said how I was kind of concerned that she wasn't eating a lot of like fruits and vegetables and things like that, but she said based on the pouches, the yogurts, the applesauce, the little bit of fruit that I'm getting her to eat, and the chicken, she's eating enough in a day. She's drinking the milk, so that helps like fortify her. But the pediatrician wasn't worried about her eating habits. She said like maybe try cutting down the amount of milk I'm giving her, and that will encourage her to want to eat more. So we're working with it. And like I said, she's just a different kind of eater. She's a bit more of a picky eater, but she's getting better at eating. And like I said, we have that evaluation coming up at the end of this week. I don't know if she's going to qualify for that. I think if we would have got her evaluated months ago, maybe, but because her eating habits have changed and she is self-feeding now at this point, she'll use her pincer grasp to pick up food and feed herself. I don't know if she's going to qualify for that, so we will see, and I'll keep you guys updated. She now has 5 teeth, almost 6. She has her 2 bottom teeth, her 2 top teeth, and randomly 1 molar in the back on the bottom. The same molar on the top is coming in. It's very red and inflamed up there. I think on the left side on the bottom, that one is starting to like come up a little bit. The pediatrician said she saw some swelling back there, but as of right now, 5 teeth in her mouth. I think it's so funny how she has like 1 random bottom molar in the back. It definitely looks funny when she talks and laughs and eats, but she has 5 teeth. She, as you guys know, isn't crawling, standing, cruising, or anything like that. My feet are falling asleep, but she had physical therapy today. She gets physical therapy 2 times a week for 45 minutes at a time, and she is making great strides. She's actually started army crawling in the last 2 days, so she'll use her arms to pull and scoot herself. She's still consistently doing them together. The physical therapist said we want to see her start separating the arms and doing one after the other. I need to move you guys down here because I need to sit all the way down. My feet are falling asleep. We want to see her separate her arms and do one after the other. That's like the next step. But even babies as young as 9 months old, when they start army crawling, that's usually a stepping stone to actual crawling. So the physical therapist said it's very good that we're seeing these little steps and improvements in just the month that she's been getting physical therapy. We're 1 month in. So I'm very glad to hear that. She's also doing great at playing on her knees. We got her to bear some weight on her legs today. She is showing just more of an interest in wanting to move around, which was a big thing for her, that she didn't even have interest in moving around. We'd set her down and set her toys around her, and she just wasn't interested in moving. She would just be a happy sitter and sit there. But she's actually starting to show interest in wanting to crawl and move around. So that is really good, and I'm hoping to continue seeing improvements. I do want to do at the end of her 6 months of physical therapy like a full update and breakdown on if we achieved the goals we set, what went into it, what it looked like for us. So if you're interested in that, if your baby is getting evaluated or you think physical therapy is something that you're going to have to get for your child and go that route, I want to do a video. So let me know if that's something that you guys are interested in, and I'll definitely make sure to do that at the end of the 6 months. Like I said, we're only a month in, so maybe I could do like a halfway check-in point and then an end of the 6 month check-in point. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. Aside from that, she's doing a lot of other normal baby things: clapping, pointing, waving hi and bye. She has a lot of words. She says hi, bye, papa, bubble, ball, apple, baby, mimi, mama, dada. She can like mimic songs, so like row, row, row your boat, itsy bitsy spider, old MacDonald. She can say E-I-E-I-O. She can say moo, ba, bok, neigh, like animal sounds. We're trying to get her to associate them with the animal that says them, but she can say those sounds. Rubber, she blows kisses. Like I said, she waves, she points, she plays with her toys. Great hand-eye coordination. They always said, even in her evaluation, that she had really good fine motor skills. So she was able to pick up a ball and drop it in a hole, bang 2 toys together, pick something up that was really small, manipulate toys, turn pages in a book. She was always really good at that stuff. So we've seen a lot of that with her. I'm trying to think what else developmentally she can do. I'm gonna insert a video going back to the whole army curling thing. I posted it on my private Instagram of her doing like an inchworm type motion of her army crawling. I'm going to put that here. I'm trying to think what else I need to update you guys on. Eating, sleeping, growth, development, her teeth, her clothing. I think that's it. Her hair is starting to grow in more. I feel like she has a little mullet now. It's so funny. She has like the normal hair on the top that like sweeps across, that I like sweep to the side. She has a little bit of breakage in the back from like rubbing her head on her bed, and then apart from that breakage, like down towards the nape of her neck, that hair is getting longer, and so it looks like she has a little mullet, which is really cute and funny. It definitely needs to grow like a little bit more where there's breakage. I've actually been putting some of my hair oil in her hair to help it not get so tangled and help it grow, and I definitely have seen an improvement in it. I need a good like baby leave-in conditioner or like a toddler leave-in conditioner. If you have a girl and you use any kind of hair products on her, let me know what you use, because with the boys, I never really had to use anything. Their hair grew a lot faster than Lily's did. At this point, the boys had so much hair, and I was putting it in like their little man buns, and they had like a lot of hair on the side. I don't know why for a girl, like I feel like girls' hair grows slower sometimes. Lily does not have as much hair as the boys had at 15 months old. So any hair product recommendations for girls, please let me know down below. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, leave those in the comments down below. Anything you guys want to know, anything I might have missed. I really think that's everything that's going on with Lily now that she is 15 months old, which is insane. We're approaching the date that I found out I was pregnant with her 2 years ago, which is just so crazy. I'm definitely like, we're getting to my favorite age. I loved when the boys were like 16 to 18 months old, and I'm just loving it so much now with Lily as she's approaching that age, because they really become very interactive, and you can sing with them and talk to them, and they like look to you and want to converse with you and interact more, and it just gets to be a lot more fun. Side note, I just remembered, she figured out how to screech, and she is such a screecher. She screeches so loud, and I don't remember that ever happening with the boys. She definitely screeches in like frustration sometimes, which is very loud. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video, which I think is going to be a packing video, because little Lily and I are going to take another little girls trip down to go see my mom in just about like a week and a half when I'm filming this. So I think my next video is going to be a packing video, and then you'll get a little Florida vlog from me, because we're going down to see my mom and my sister and her baby Walker, who's almost 5 months old now. Just Lily and I are going because the boys are in school, and we wind up getting home on Rosh Hashanah. It just would have been too much to fly with all 3 kids. I think the next time I'm going to go down with all of them is going to be Christmas, but little Lily and I are going down to Florida. So I think my next video is going to be packing video, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.